It was a peaceful evening in our serene suburb when an abrupt knock on the door spun our world around my wife, and I never saw it coming. She'd always been a low-profile presence in our cul-de-sac of gelled lawns and smiling faces, keeping beneath the radar. But one day, two men purporting to be HOA officials arrived showing fake badges and uniformed, accusing her of a preposterous bylaw offense. They had no idea who they were dealing with, a secret identity that would soon unravel their scam when her CIA team stormed in our story. Unfolds in Cedar Grove, a suburban community just outside Boulder, Colorado. It was the kind of place where drama meant someone forgot to mow their lawn, potluck holiday contests, and quiet block parties. Define the neighborhood I'd always been thankful for its simplicity. My wife Elaine E., for short, usually chuckled that if people around here knew what she really did, they'd be joking. She was a CIA analyst who dealt with data penetration, but her cover was a technical consultant in Longmont, a flawless, unremarkable alibi for her frequent travels. That summer day, I opened our door to two men in Navy uniforms with badges saying HOA enforcement. Cedar Grove didn't have any such unit, only a volunteer HOA board and a management firm. No arrest powers. The men introducing themselves as officers, Daniels and Officer Harper, carried clipboards with a Cedar Grove logo, insisting to speak with Eng. She was in the kitchen baking a pie for our elderly neighbor Flo on her apron. There's been a serious breach of rules, they growled, accusing her of unauthorized surveillance equipment in the neighborhood. I attempted to remain calm. There's no HOA security force here. Who authorized you? Their eyes darted around, scanning our home. Elaine stepped into the foyer, raising an eyebrow. I recognized her calm expression, her CIA training kicking in. "Gentlemen, you're mistaken," she said. "Let's talk about this outside." They sneered. "We're taking you into custody." Pushing her out the door, pinning her wrists, I was furious watching my wife being treated like a criminal. But Elaine remained eerily calm. No struggle, no panic. Neighbors gathered gossip. Spreading fast, the men shouted at them to stay back, claiming their fake authority. They walked Elaine to a black SUV with a homemade Cedar Grove HOA enforcement sign, the phone number. One digit off from the actual HOAs. "This is kidnapping." I yelled, "You have no authority." They ignored me, their posture hardening. My phone rang an unknown number. A voice said, "Miss Donovan, this is Christine Wells of the CIA's Rapid Response Unit." Do not be alarmed, Christine was Elaine's boss. Elaine had activated an emergency protocol. "We tracing your location," Christine instructed. "Stall them." Agents are en route. The SUV engine roared. I jumped in front of it, arms spread, risking my life. Daniel slammed on the brakes inches from me. Harper shouted, "You're impeding HOA business." Neighbors blocked the way, phones. "Out a teenager." Jake Liv streamed it, infuriating the man. Harper's hand went to a cheap-looking gun on his belt. I prepared for the worst. Sirens wailed, not local police but federal vehicles. Two black SUVs with government plates skidded up. Four agents got out, headed by a tall woman with silver hair, Christine Wells, a legendary CIA operative Elaine had introduced me to. In a picture, she motioned us back, her team encircling the phony SUV guns. Drawn but firm, Daniels and Harper panicked their bluff. Lost Elaine, still zip-tied in the back, smiled faintly at Christine. Harper attempted to run on foot but was tackled. Daniel stood frozen. Christine ordered, "You're under arrest by order of U.S. government." They were cuffed, dragged out of the SUV. It was like a spy drama. Elaine Freed stood face them. "Who do you work for?" They stammered, scared their control. Broken, Christine pulled me aside. "Your wife's been investigating con men, pretending to be local authorities. We didn't anticipate kidnapping during broad daylight. These men were involved in an elaborate plot, perhaps not even from Colorado." I recalled OD cars driving our streets at night. Actual Boulder police appeared, cordoning off the site. Neighbors swapped stories. Mrs. Ellis explained the men locate her for a non-compliant garden gnome. Miss Carter was cornered over bogus landscaping charges. Elaine and Christine operated in tandem. Taking notes, I stood there, heart pounding. My wife's cover life exploding onto our lawn. Then Agent Ramsey, another CIA contact, walked up, anything out of the ordinary. Recently odd cars visitors. I spoke of a van by the community pool. No plates that sped away when I approached Ramsey. nodded, taking a call. A beeping sound came from the mock SUV. An agent discovered a device beneath the seat, a blinking GPS tracker with a strange circuit. Possible explosive or tracker, he yelled. Neighbors dispersed. It was only a racker, but Harper and Daniels did look apparently frightened. Claiming no knowledge, Elaine asked them, "Why on earth this neighborhood who is doing this?" Harper hesitated. "We were hired, it's only work. Somebody bigger had used. Cedar growth." Ramsey quietly spoke to Elaine. Her face crashing, she turned to me. "I must depart to a secure facility. This is more extensive than anticipated. They could possibly be members of a gang that attacks federal employees." My stomach sank. They suspected Elaine was taken away for her work on a secretive operation. She was swept out in a government car. Another Christine remained to cope with the situation, promising that Elaine would soon be back. Cedar Grove revolved news, vans, yellow tape anchors, coverage of the CIA operative arrested by phony, HOA police, federal monitoring tracking unmarked vehicles, drones pressure heavy. I could not catch Elaine, her phone off. I stayed productive, work tasks, volunteer, tormented by concern. 1 week later, and Secure Line called. It was Elaine, worn but determined. "I'm safe." We found a huge ring. They accessed information on government workers, orchestrating infractions in suburbs to sell intel bug homes and sell it on the dark web. They targeted me for my foreign work. "Are we in danger?" I asked her. Silence was heavy. The ringleaders aren't arrested yet. They could retaliate. I felt fear, but also pride. My pie-baking wife was taking apart criminal network days later. Christine arrived in a black sedan and handed me an encrypted laptop with a live feed entry. "Teams in position," an agent told it was. The tack down in Omaha, Nebraska, at a isolated storage building Elaine had led. A unit, shouts, footsteps, gunshots, muffled. My heart stopped. Christine mouthed. "She's okay," Elaine's voice cracked. "Target, secure, stolen data. Hardware suspects apprehended, 0 casualties." Christine smiled. "It's over." Elaine returned 2 days later, a quiet return home. The uproar subsided. Cedar Grove settled back in a suburban rhythm. Daniels, Harper, and their associates were hit with federal indictments, impersonation, kidnapping conspiracy, espionage, and denied bail. Their bogus badges were emblematic of their fall. The true HOA explained no such officers had ever existed, and Boulder police made certain no other cons popped up. Neighbors were relieved to find closure. Elaine and I followed the news anxiously. Rumors connected the ringleaders to an international organization. The FBI blew the case out to Portland, and aside from Elaine, passed her intel stepping back. The crisis united Cedar Grove. We installed locks, shared watch schedules, and bonded. Jake turned his live stream into a safety tips channel. We'd learned threats can hide behind HOA complaints, but our community's resilience and Elaine's grit prevailed. Cedar Grove emerged stronger, vigilant, a testament to facing danger with unity.